You hit the record button. All right, go ahead.
We're at 7 o'clock. We are out of exec session, but we're going back into exec session. And we'll be back in the exec session for about 15 minutes. We will be back to this meeting at 7:15.
And what it's for, to receive and evaluate a complaint against an employer or
Okay,
officer?
so I need to repeat that again. So
Oh.
we're going back into exec session pursuant to RCW 42.30.110 subsection 1, subsection F, to discuss a complaint with an employee, and possible action will be taken.
Thank you.
Okay, and so I encourage the public just to hang on and not close this out. And Kelly, maybe you can stay on and monitor that and help the public understand what's going on.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. I will see you shortly. Kenmore City Council's back in session. We are out of executive session, and I want to call on Attorney Mike Bolasina.
Thank you, Mayor. This is Mike Bolasina. On March 17th of 2020, Councilperson Karina File delivered a complaint of sex discrimination against Mayor Baker to the city manager. The immediate concern that Councilperson File had was comments that Mayor Baker had made to her before an open public meeting the day before. In response, the city hired me, I'm an employment attorney at Summit Law, to advise the city council on what to do about the complaint. Based on my recommendation, on March 23rd, 2020, the city hired an outside neutral investigator named Chris Capel to look into the complaint and then report back to the council on what she found. In the next month, she interviewed all 7 council people and a number of city employees as well. And the allegations were not just limited to that one interaction. There were several interactions, both written and verbal, that were at issue. And the mayor and the witnesses had an opportunity to address what they saw, what they heard, what they did in response. On April 24th, 2020, I received Chris Capel's final report, and I shared that with all the council people for their review, so that decisions could be made and action could be taken upon it tonight. To summarize her conclusion, what she was looking into was whether Mayor Baker was treating Councilperson File in a negative or derogatory manner as a result of her sex or because she is a woman. And what the investigator found is that Mayor Baker does treat Councilperson File differently than he treats other city council people and other employees, but that the difference in the treatment was not related to Councilperson File's sex. It's not because she's a woman, it is because of sort of unique components of their relationship, and not because of her protected class status. And that in a short, brief summary is what the investigator found. And the council people have now all had a chance to review the report and consider what they would like to do next with respect to Chris Capel's report.
All right. How is this going to proceed from here with the action that will be taken?
I think we're making a motion.
Fine. Then is there a motion to be made?
And Councilmember Curtis.
Councilmember Curtis.
I would like to make a motion that we accept the report, file it, and publish it
so the public is able to see it.
I second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. The clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember O'Kane,
Yes.
Councilmember Curtis,
Yes.
Councilmember Marshall,
Yes.
Councilmember Shrubnik,
Yes.
Mayor Baker,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Herbig,
Yes.
Councilmember File.
Yes.
All right, passed unanimously.
All right. Then, next item on the agenda is,
Do we want to say,
roll
sorry,
call.
do we want the city manager to say where it's going to be available?
Yes, city manager, would you please indicate where it's going to be available?
Yes. What I'll do is we can post it to the city council's webpage on the city website until the report is approved in the city council minutes and attached to the minutes.
Great.
And we anticipate that at the May 26th city council meeting. No pressure, city.
Right. Anything else need to be said on that?
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, please, Deputy Mayor.
Okay. And the city manager, you're also going to respond to all the folks who had reached out previously with questions about the investigation.
The ones that I'm aware of, I'm going to reach out to them by email and let them know of the report's availability.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, and in case you don't have that list, are you only concerned with the ones that have responded to you, or have you concerned with the ones that have responded in general?
I only know the ones I'm aware of. If any of you are aware of any others, you can forward those to me.
Great, thank you. So I do have a bunch. All right. Anything else on this before we move to the next one? So clerk, please take the roll.
Okay, Councilmember Curtis,
Present.
Mayor Baker,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Herbig,
Present.
Councilmember File,
Present.
Councilmember Shrubnik,
Present?
Councilmember O'Kane,
Present.
Councilmember Marshall.
Here.
All right, thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda. Are you ready for this, Kelly? Is the flag salute.
You know, my video was not so great last time. I felt it was clunky. So
I thought you had a practice.
yeah, can we just all say it together, which we sort of did anyway, even with my video.
All right.
And then, Rob, do you want to show your flag in your office?
Oh, sure, just a second.
Okay. Oh, great.
All right, so Karina, why don't you lead us off?
Sure. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the
of the
United States of
of
America
America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
with
with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Rob.
All right. Next item on the agenda is a presentation to introduce our management intern, Mr. Carlinsey, if you please.
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. Yeah, I would like to introduce Adam Nebenzahl, and I think he is shown here on the screen for you all to see. Adam is pursuing his master's degree in public administration at the Evans School at the University of Washington, and he has an undergraduate degree in environmental education. And he applied for this internship opportunity that we have, and as you know, probably the main job that he's going to be doing during his internship is developing a plan for a plan to have a climate action plan. And so he's already hit the ground running on that, and he's got a draft of something for me to look at, and I owe him a response. But he's just working really quickly and very competently so far. And he came highly recommended. He gave me some references, and I checked them out, and they were all just really glowing references. So really excited to work with Adam for the summer, helping us with developing a climate action plan. And we're also going to have him help us with a few other things, including some help with the pandemic, and also updating some of our financial sustainability graphs and charts that we produced last year, among other things as well. But Adam, do you want to say a few words?
Sure. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate that opening. I don't usually get many of those, being in undergraduate and graduate school and whatnot. Council members, I'm looking forward to working for the city. It is a still fairly new city, is what Rob and I have talked about, but I'm very excited to help develop this climate action plan, or a plan of the plan, and maybe if time allows, maybe be able to start working on it a little bit. Other than that, it's been already a fantastic start, and I'm really grateful to have this opportunity to work with the city of Kenmore, and hope to take as much advantage of the opportunities that are given to me to learn and build as many different things as possible.
Well, Mr. Nebenzahl, I got to give you credit for that middle name. That's kind of apropos right now, Bear. That's going to stick for a long time, I tell you.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Thank you and welcome. We're really happy to have you here. You got a tough act to follow. We've got a number of very talented people that have served with us as interns for the summer. So you got a high hurdle to jump, and we're expecting great things out of you. I know that Mr. Carlins, he wouldn't have picked you if he didn't think you were capable of doing it. So anyway, welcome. You're going to love the family. You're going to love the people. And we've got a great staff. And so we're glad that you're part of it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and Adam's doing a great job. So really happy to have him.
So next item on the agenda is citizen comments. It's an opportunity to express your views on issues that are important to you and to the community. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes, and the clerk is going to be the gatekeeper.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Just for the record, I did not receive any comments via email from anybody. So for anybody that's on the line right now, if you want to raise your hand, I'll call on you and we'll start the 3-minute timer. Looks like I have, oh, I've got one. Let's see. Nadia Silver, can you hear me? Okay, hold on just a second here. I think I have to promote her. I will do that.
Hello?
Hi, Nadia, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can't see you, but we can hear you, which is fine.
Great. Yeah, my camera's not working today.
Okay.
In any case, my quick question was about the social distancing measures and how are they going? And not just by council observation, but like numbers. Do we have actual numbers on how we think we're doing as a city, complying so that we can start opening up a little sooner than is currently projected? And then my next question is, I heard about 4th of July firework and such things at Logwood Park being canceled. And I just wanted to have that reconfirmed on record, just to make sure, because it was a little bit of a surprise to me and a few other people that I know of. Thank you.
I'm not sure if there's any actual numbers on social distancing and what's happened. I know there's a number of examples I've seen around town where it's not being observed. 4th of July celebration has been canceled, as well as the movies in the town square and the concerts in the park, except for 2 possibly are at the last part in August. And also the tree lighting ceremony has been officially canceled. And I think that answers most of the questions. Is there anybody else, Miss Clerk?
Let's see. Let me just check one thing here. I don't believe so. Okay, so is there anybody else that would like to talk? Go ahead and raise your hand.
Yes, Mr. City Manager.
Just kidding. I'll let you keep going.
Oh, I saw that hand go up.
I'm anxious to give my staff report.
I think we're safe to proceed, Mayor. The rest look like.
And City Manager, can you please answer that question if I've missed anything on the social distancing and what's happening in Kenmore?
No, you did a great job.
Okay. Fine.
Nobody else.
Then, next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
So approved.
It's been moved. Councilmember File, you want a second?
Yes.
Was our first Councilmember Marshall?
Councilmember File.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess we have Deputy Mayor as making the motion and Councilmember File as the second.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Since we're not in person and we can't really tell, let's just take the roll, if you don't mind.
Sure. All right, Councilmember Marshall,
Yes.
Councilmember Shrevenick,
Yes.
Mayor Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember O'Kane,
Yes.
okay, thank you. Councilmember Curtis,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Herbig,
Yes.
Councilmember File.
Yes.
Right, approved.
Great. Next item on the agenda, City Manager Staff Report.
Okay, just two things. One is because we're so limited on what we can talk about in council meetings, we don't have much to bring to you for the May 18th City Council meeting. So I'm proposing that we cancel that meeting and have the next regular meeting on Tuesday, May 26th. Why Tuesday? Because May 25th is Memorial Day, and your rules say that if a council meeting falls on a holiday, then the regular meeting automatically moves to the following Tuesday. So I'm recommending that your next City Council meeting be on Tuesday, May 26th. So if there aren't any objections there, then we can go ahead and cancel the 18th. Okay, and then the other one is an update on the pandemic. So given the governor's latest direction, we have followed suit, and City Hall remains closed through May, and so do much of our facilities. Parks remain open, but our parks amenities remain closed through May. The public portion of the hangar is going to remain closed through May. We're not accepting reservations to use the hangar right now, just because of all the uncertainty. On the financial front, I gave you that plan at the last council meeting, and we're following that plan. So phase one was to cut those discretionary expenditures that we outlined, and that's been done. Now we're in phase two, which is that holding pattern. And a city like Kenmore can be in this holding pattern and not have to take further drastic measures. Why? Well, two reasons. One is we have strong reserves, comparatively strong to what I'm seeing in some other cities. And number two are relatively less elastic revenues. We do have some elastic revenues like sales tax and permit fees, but not as much as we do see in other cities. So there are cities around us that are taking more drastic measures. We are seeing cities doing layoffs and furloughs. But my assessment of those cities is that their fund balances tend to be lower, or they have more elastic revenues than we do. So given those two reasons, I'm okay with being in this holding pattern right now. But come July, when we have more information, then we'll be able to see how good or bad the situation is and then make additional decisions from there. So that's the plan that I outlined last time, and I recommend that we stick with it. We still don't have any sales tax data to indicate what's happening. We'll get March sales tax data at the end of this month. Not seeing a big drop in permitting fees yet. I'm seeing somewhat of a decline, but not a dramatic decline. So I think that's what we're gonna continue to stay on course on this phase 1 financial situation. And let me just look here. We're paying close attention to the federal money that's going to be coming, and we call it the CRF, the Coronavirus Relief Fund, and the state is going to be sharing 300 million of its 1.9 billion with cities, and we'll probably get close to about 700,000 for that. It can only be spent on coronavirus related expenditures, but some of those expenditures can qualify, such as telecommuting expenses. And our city employees have been in a telecommuting situation for a while now. And I predict that many of them are going to continue to be in a telework situation for the foreseeable future. Maybe even in some form, maybe not full-time, but maybe 1/3, a half, maybe full-time. Many of our office workers will be in some sort of telework situation, maybe through the end of this year. And so we'll be investing in some better equipment for them to more safely and comfortably work from home, such as monitors and other equipment that'll be more ergonomically fit for them. And the good news is we'll be able to charge it to the CRF fund. We'll also be able to charge staff time that's been spent on the virus, the pandemic, and some other related expenses. So I don't think we'll have any problem getting to the 700,000. There's also a bit of hope that the county may share some of its CRF money with cities as well. That remains to be seen. But and then we're also looking to see if there's going to be any relief for cities in CARES 2, what they're calling that, which may start making progress in the next week or two. I believe Deputy Mayor raised his hand.
Yeah, just a quick question. So that $50,000 we moved over for human services, do you think that might be able to be paid for with the federal money?
Yes.
Okay.
That's my report.
That's your report? So the county exec made an announcement today on masking. And being on the Board of Health and seeing what's happening with the uptick in the number of cases, we're over 500 deaths now. We're over 7,000 cases. Here in Kenmore, we're at 68 cases with 6 deaths. And I know at the park at Squires last weekend, there were a number of people at the park utilizing the park, which I think is great, but there was no social distancing. There was no masking. And one of the ladies that was there going canoeing, kayaking, had mentioned that the social distancing, you need to social distance, and she was told to shut up and mind her own business. So I don't think it's much to ask that when people go in supermarkets and stores as they gradually reopen, that they wear a mask. I'm seeing it all the time, but it's not uniform. And I would really like to see the city manager issue a requirement, no penalties, but just issue a requirement in along the lines of the county exec that requires or requests people wear a mask when they go into places. And I know, city manager, that you have talked about that. And the county's doesn't go into effect until the 18th of the month. And I would like to see us with our own requirements in Kenmore.
Yeah, I'm a strong believer in masks. I think there's a lot of research and data now supporting that. And I think it's also going to be a tool, not the tool, but a tool in helping the economy get up and running again. So yeah, if you guys would like me to, I'd be happy to do a similar directive that's along the lines of the counties and in support of what the county is doing.
Yeah, I'm just very concerned because we're seeing so much disregard, but in the same sense, we're seeing people that are really trying to comply and really wearing masks and doing what they can to help limit this. And I think the only way we're going to get it, it's been proven time and time again, all around the world, that social distancing and that makes a big difference. Councilmember Curtis.
A couple thoughts. One, I was talking with one of the doctors at Evergreen, and he said, he quoted a study that said if both people are wearing masks, the infection rate, the contagion rate is only 1.5%. So the more people wearing masks, the better. And, however we can word it kind of strongly, we strongly recommend, granted, no penalty, no absolute requirement, but we strongly recommend that everybody wear masks when they're out in the public.
Councilmember Shrubnik.
I'm just wondering whether we can do something more simple, like, doing tonight a motion that we, are in support of the county. You remember the county's directive is county-wide. I mean, it includes us. Rather than doing more staff work, we can just say that we are in support of that directive that, strongly encourages people to wear masks. I love the idea of masks. Masks are very communal because you wear them to protect somebody else wears it to protect you. So it's all about community. I'm wondering whether there's a more straightforward and more rapid way to do this.
Yeah, I've been in conversation with the executive about this, and he was very excited that Kenmore was going to be part of it and wants other cities to become part of this. So it just carries more weight, and it's more out there that all jurisdictions in the county are asking that this be done. Councilmember File.
I was just going to concur with both Deborah Sturbeck, our council member Deborah Sturbeck, about her recommendations. I do believe if we adopt the King County proposal that it would be a simpler way to go about the work. And I think it would be good for our community.
Yeah, Councilmember O'Kane.
I just wanted to ask, how much time would it take if the city of Kenmore were to make some sort of a proclamation to the effect of wearing masks? Would we be able to do so before the May 18th King County guidance?
Yeah, we pretty much have it written up already, and we'd rely heavily on the King County language and make it very similar.
I personally support Kenmore getting ahead on this, if we can.
So I don't think it's clear if we want Kenmore to move ahead. Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, I mean, I support us putting out our own order sooner than later. I think it's important right now with how divisive everything is that Kenmore stands with King County on this important issue. So I'm fully supportive of us putting out our own emergency order on this.
Councilmember Curtis?
I support that.
Great, we have 4. All right. Is that the end of the report and you have direction, City Manager?
Yeah, and we can put out something this week and then have you ratify it at the May 26th council meeting.
Great.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Don Rayton, does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
All right. If that's the end of your report, Mr. City Manager, council member reports, comments, and initiatives. Councilmember O'Kane.
I don't have any reports today. Thank you. I do want to welcome Mr. Neberzall to City of Kenmore, and I'm really looking forward to your climate action work. So thank you.
Councilmember Marshall.
I just wanted to express my condolences and solidarity with the families of people who've been lost to coronavirus. My utmost thanks and support for the first responders, the medical professionals, and everybody involved in the food chain, in the basic services, in the essential services, shoring us all up right now. And my firm belief that we stand together, we're going to beat this thing. Thank you.
Councilmember Curtis.
So at our January retreat, we decided that the city council rules and procedures would be reevaluated with the subcommittee. So as the chairman of that subcommittee and in conjunction with Councilmember Marshall and Deputy Mayor Herbig, I did a draft this last week, sent it to them. So just so you all know, we're working on it.
Great.
And what my thought was, we, the three of us, would kind of put our heads together, come up with a draft that at least incorporates all of our ideas. Then we'll send it to Dawn to make sure we're, doing it right.
Wonderful.
You're muted, Mr. Mayor.
You're muted.
You cannot hear the mayor.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Srebnick.
I have a couple things. One is at my day job, we had a briefing that I think is relevant for all of us at a city level as well. A briefing from DOH, their behavioral health person at the state level, who did a report projecting the behavioral health, mental health, and substance abuse needs related to coronavirus going forward. And there is a known kind of pattern post-disaster that I think I just want to highlight that, mood and behavioral health concerns are relatively low after the initial shock for a period of time where community cohesion actually is very strong they call it the honeymoon phase. We're now starting to exit that phase as a nation. And we're moving into what they call the disillusionment phase. And so I just wanted to highlight that because it was a learning to me. I think it explains some of the things that we're seeing locally and nationally. And it is predictable and sort of a known pattern. The more troubling part than simple disillusionment is that more serious behavioral health concerns can ensue, and they are looking at what the need will be come late summer and fall. So all that's to say is all of us here and anybody who's listening to this now or later, this is a known pattern post-disaster, and there are now resources for behavioral health concerns, and there will be more coming forward into the summer and fall. So just know that that's available. So that's that. The other thing, on a positive note, Councilmember Fowle and I are both on the census Kenmore complete census count work, and we are now seeing a pretty robust response rate here in Kenmore that exceeds the state rate, and it exceeds most of our neighboring cities with a couple of exceptions. And so we're pretty excited about that. There are still people that have not responded, and we just want to encourage everybody to respond to the census. You can call the census number. It's 1-800, it's a toll free, of course, and they will answer your questions and help you fill it out if you need. And if you just look on the internet, it comes right up. So anyway, just wanted to put a plug in for that, but we are doing real well and we're real proud of our community.
Are we still at 73%?
I think it might even be 74 now.
All right.
I know.
There's a nice little wager going on between the mayors of Woodinville and Bothell and Kenmore, and it's nice that we are substantially ahead.
Yeah.
So, all right. Thank you very much. Councilmember File.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to mention that there is a wonderful program that Snohomish County did together with UNICEF, and they did support local business and restaurants. And I thought I might mention and share that with you all to see if you might want to discuss and think about partnering with a similar program or other stakeholders to support local business. So the program basically connected our local restaurant businesses together with UNICEF to provide meals to the community in need. And all that was required is that people came to pick up the meals. And they partnered together with the census. And I wonder, Deborah, Councilwoman Shrevenick, if you would support an idea like that, or if our other council members would support us trying to bring a wonderful program like that to our community, support local business, and raise awareness of the census.
And so clarify, so this is bringing meals. Can you just
partnering together with our local restaurant community to provide meals for families in need, and together with the census. And that partnership, I believe, in Snohomish County used the stakeholder programs of UNICEF. I believe in the past, Kenmore has partnered with the YMCA and King County UNICEF. So yeah, I think this is a good opportunity to support our local businesses and support our community in hunger.
One of the things, so this dovetails with, it could potentially be an addition. One of the things that is already happening is for kids that are enrollees of the North Shore School District, they are, of course, providing meals. And what we're trying to do, although we haven't solidified it completely, is to partner with them to get messages going out in tandem. Yeah, there could be an additional effort. I certainly wouldn't be opposed to it. I'm not sure exactly what that would look like, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious as to who would pay for those meals. Is that something the city would pay for, or would we go to UNICEF or another agency?
I believe Snohomish County, for example, partnered together with UNICEF, a nonprofit partner, which is kind of a key to the stakeholder relationship and balancing the standard measures of a city not gifting and working together with your nonprofit partners.
Okay. Deputy Mayor.
Nothing more to report.
I have spent the last couple of weeks working with the county exec on a couple of different items, and also with Dr. Jeff Duchin on masking, and certainly some Board of Health issues. Also, I've been working with Councilmember Dembowski. Rod and I and the Woodinville Mayor Elaine Cook, we went out and we met a caravan of trucks that were bringing in potatoes and onions that were going to be plowed under. there was probably 15 or 20,000 pounds. I went out to Frog Farm out in Maltby, and we unloaded these loose potatoes in bags from trucks and semis that had a big caravan that came over the mountains. The county was there. It was a conservation land, and we had a COVID-19 person that checked us all in, made sure we all had masks, we all had gloves, and we maintained social distancing. It was a great experience. We just brought in so much food for HopeLink, for the North Shore Senior Center. I know Mayor Cook and Councilmember Dembowski took hundreds of pounds of potatoes and onions over to the Kenmore Senior Center. I've had conversations with our federal delegation, and we're certainly appreciative of all their efforts and what they're able to do. And we're trying to get more clarification on the stimulus package 4 and also on the COVID package and what can be done with it and how we can utilize it to Kenmore's best extent. So if there are no other business to come before us, we will adjourn. Thank you all very much. And I guess we're back on for May 26th.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn. Appreciate you being here.